start early. This is Ryan Monso, and this is Cats, the Cougar Afterthought Show. And as soon as we went live, the Aggies started talking in the press conference behind me. So if y'all are hearing that, apologies. 79-64, win by 15, led by 25 at one point. You didn't shoot free throws very well. They shot 31 free throws. But I think the story of the day is you beat a pretty damn good team, and it was never really a game.
No, you beat the brakes off of them. I mean, we've faced them twice last year. They're a dang good team. They return a lot of talent. They got one of the best guards in the country.
They obviously did not go crazy playing those guys a ton. Taylor only played 26 minutes, which that's fine. Everybody's getting a lot of people in. U of H played a couple more than they did, but what the two teams wanted to do, I think they both did it.
I mean, J1 played 26 minutes. He was the team leader in minutes. JoJo played 23, LJ 23, Milos with 22. So yeah, I mean, you mix it up. You mix it up really well. There's just a whole lot of good stuff. It's just great to have basketball back again.
Yeah.
You don't really. We all know that we miss it, but you forget how much until you get to see them play again.
There was, the arena got really nice. The crowd turned out to be pretty good, and the energy in the building was pretty good. I mean, you clearly knew it was not a game that mattered, but there was good energy. Speaking of good energy, that's Kingston Slimming in the red. That's Isaiah Harwell in the gray. There was a junior here. I heard somebody say that Cenac was here. I did not see him, and but these guys were here. They had to probably enjoy what they saw. I mean, that was a pretty good game to come see, game or not exhibition.
Your possible future backcourt with Mercy
I
Miller
read that
and
somewhere.
Cordell Jefferson. Who knows?
You have to be so excited about the team you have right now.
Oh my God.
The depth, but there's a little something that, wait until next year. I don't know.
Well, I mean, next year we just
set up.
Next year we just started all over again. But I mean,
yeah.
you've got
but
some pieces.
Let's focus on this right here.
Well, no, because you got a veteran team with some really, really good, strong, young talent. And speaking of, holy shit, Terrence Arsenault looks like a different player. That's a different human being.
What is your thought on that? Why is he so different?
It just takes time. It takes time, and it's got to click. And we can point to it to a similar situation last year and the year before. Two guys who you knew had talent, they just couldn't unlock it to their full potential. Was Davian Dunn, and then before that, Jarris Walker. They were on the
Okay.
cusp of really breaking out. And
I mean, it's hard to put Damian Dunn and Jarris Walker.
No, what I'm saying is that they both were playing below their talent because they were unsure of kind of what they were doing. They didn't have the swagger that you knew that they could really succeed with. But and Terrence reminded me of the same way. He just looked unsure for his freshman year and then a little bit to the start of last year. Right as he went down, he was starting to come through, starting to feel a little bit better. But when I saw him tonight, he just had that look. He looks free. He looks like he's not thinking, and he's just got that swagger to him. And man, he looked good. He looks ready to go. And
he went down last year in the A&M game.
Yeah.
And he had started turning that corner. They were really excited about how he had started playing. But they were pretty happy with where he was. And then he goes down, lose for the year. But he looked a lot better than I thought he would look physically. He looked more prepared. I thought Emmanuel Sharp, the fans finally saw the shape that he's in. We talked about this on our site, but he wanted to get in better shape, be more conditioned so that he could endure a long season like they're going to endure and play the kind of minutes that he expects. He hit that shot to start the game, hit another three right after that. It's like, oh.
Here he goes again.
I joked with him the other day that, they can't take you off the floor if you never miss a shot. And I thought at the start he might want to just do that all year. But, that was a pretty good start for him. Aggie basketball, you have to be reminded of the greatest moment in this series.
Mm-hmm.
When Reveille, this is back at G. Raleigh White, got pretty excited. Since we're reminding you, record before buying Coug fans, 0-0. Record since. I'm just saying. Think about it.
That is true.
Speaking of weird stuff, Sharp is just good.
Well said.
The environment at U of H for an exhibition game is 10 times better than a regular season game at A&M. That's a weird thing to read.
It is. I mean, I was expecting to open up the game thread and see that people complaining about the attendance and how quiet it was.
They did not. How about that?
I agree.
Yeah. It's hard to disagree on that one.
Yeah.
But let's take a step back. Galen is in a team meeting. He's in Birmingham at training camp. So he's in a team meeting. We expect him to join us after. Star Pizza, right there in your top right-hand corner. Star Pizza. Good people. I'm going over there tomorrow. Have some things to do. What's happening? What was that?
I was pointing at it.
Oh, okay. There you go. Brad just pointed at it. So we're clear. Star Pizza. It's pretty good. Go to Star Pizza. Get you some pizza. Nice people.
Or pasta.
Or pasta.
Or salads or desserts. Whatever you like.
I'm going over there for non-food issues. But I might have to just get me some food. I am very pleasantly surprised by the comments so far. Look good.
Agree.
Yeah. Good start. Deepest team in the country with room for improvement. I don't know about deepest team in the country. I hadn't seen anybody else.
All I can say is I legitimately think that I would not be too scared if we got to the 11th man and needed some production out of them.
No, it's weird. I mean, I think you're going to play 10. I think that's going to be your rotation. Maybe it goes to 9. but I think you're going to play a lot of people just because you've got to feed all these mouths,
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's going to be a lot of guys. Cordell plays defense. Cordell got into the game late. I was surprised how long it took for him to get into the game, but I think there is a lot of talent there.
When I think
And
they had him running point, so it looks like
Yeah.
they were going with Milos as the point, and then back up with Malik, and then third with Cordell. And of course, soon as he gets in, dishes one off.
Yeah. McFarland is still a work in progress. That's true. He's never played a real college game. He's still a work in progress.
First real action of his career.
Yep. That's the work in progress.
Pretty much everybody's a work in progress right now.
Yeah. I mean, there was nobody that you thought that's a polished product. Not tonight. Mercy is a bucket, but has a way to go. The players have been saying this guy, but players only care about one thing: scoring, shooting. They're not worried about defense. And Mercy's got a long way to go and had some turnovers, but we're not overreacting because the kid was in high school 4 months ago.
Well, and one thing I noticed about him, he on defense, I think he wants to go hard. I just think that he is unsure of where he needs to be. His positioning is a little off. Because watching him on defense, his head is on a swivel trying to figure out where he's supposed to be. And that happens. It's going to take. It took E-Man a long time to figure that out his freshman year.
Well, I don't know if he did his freshman year, but it takes a long time. And usually, you're starting with Pembroke or Dallas Baptist or Angelo State or Montana Tech. That's who your exhibitions have been in the last 5 or 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Not the number 13 team in the country.
I mean, when you get a possibly fake news scrimmage against another pretty damn solid team.
Yes.
I mean, we're at a different level now. We're at a different level. You're coming in and stepping in, and you're jumping into the meat grinder real quick. Which I thought it was beautiful the way that Mercy started his career.
11 seconds.
Yes, 2 mistakes, and he got shredded. And what was his reaction?
Watch this.
He got double teamed and took it to the rack, brought the rim down. I love that reaction. I love that reaction.
Easy. Overreactions. They're starting to happen. They're starting to pour in.
Well, I mean, if we do we really want to talk about NBA prospects?
How about stats by Starnes?
We got more than that.
Watch the game. Starnes, he played a few minutes in the second half.
www.uhstats.com.
Yeah.
Starnes.
It's helpful. It is helpful. He got 4 minutes. Had a rebound, 2 personal fouls, missed a shot, 3-pointer.
I don't know about y'all, but I think I enjoyed watching the young guys, all 5 of them on the court for the last 5 minutes, even though it got a little sloppy.
It got ugly. Yeah. I am wearing a BYU polo.
Go Cougs. Go Cougs.
Yeah. We just got these made in like every color possible, and I can't wear a red one in the press box. It's not kosher. But yeah, Jacob McFarland's size is different. I think he'd gained a bunch of weight and maybe had lost a little bit of it in the off season. But he's going to get there. He ran the floor really well. I was really, it turns out when the coaches tell something, they know what they're talking about. Kellen had told me that he was. We would like the way he ran the floor, and that certainly seemed to be true.
He's really quick too.
Yeah.
He covers a lot of space real fast. And I noticed they went up for they brought the ball down and went up for a screen at the high post, and he beat the guy to the double team coming from down to the low post. And I think he did it in like 3 steps, which is
Here's what Kellen told me. He said oily hips, which I love that phrase. Oily hips.
yes.
He can stop and change directions, accelerate, run the floor. Once they unhitch the wagon, everybody's eyebrows are going to raise with this guy. So, I mean, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Did he grow in the off season? He looks taller.
I feel like people have said that. I do not think so. I think he's still listed at 6'10". Noticeable was how they push the ball more. You're going to see that. You're going to see them push the ball more. They're going. I mean, you have the depth to do that, and it's just going to be what you see. It's not going to be. I think they were 360th in the country last year in pace.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a little better. Worth the drive, I would imagine.
I think if you were here the whole weekend, I think the whole weekend's worth the drive.
Well, I think that's what he's saying.
Hello.
I'm not the same as I was 5 seconds ago.
Do you need me to explain that for you, Ryan?
No. No. I don't think there's a need.
There's no need
for that now. When you're going to have 4 stars waiting for playing time,
I mean, we're getting to a point where we're having to tell some really good players that we love you, man. We just don't have room for you.
And that is 100% happened with a high 4-star or 5-star. I don't even know. And anything can change between now and signing day. It's still 3 weeks away or so.
True.
But they really like where they're at with Flemings. He looked like he was having a good time. The junior that came in, he came in from Utah with Isaiah Harwell. His name is Junior County. And I still can't, it's hard for me to put those 2 words together. It just sounds so weird. But yeah, it was planned. He had to drive from San Antonio. So I don't think it was an official visit. I think that happened a few weeks ago. It was an unofficial.
He had to enjoy watching that last 6 minutes with like me and Big Jack did. That's his future. That's his future guys.
So, of the returners, of the guys that played last year, who do you think had the best game? Who do you think most interesting?
Well, I mean, the most interesting to me was JoJo and Terrence. I think the other guys, J1.
Just did exactly what he did all year last year.
What they've been doing for years. I mean, but they did it even better. They just look more refined and moving into that leadership role. But Terrence and JoJo, they just look different. They look comfortable and they look more aggressive. They've got that swagger. And my God, JoJo just missed that highlight reel dunk.
Yeah.
But the fact that he did a few spin moves and went to the rack hard, I'm not overly concerned about him missing those because being the first game and him first time back. But the fact that he's got that in his bag of tricks is nice, really nice to see. I think those two are going to be really, really big for us to take a deep, deep run.
JoJo was 0 for 5 from the floor, 0 for 2 from the line. He was the only free throws for 26 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
A&M had 31 attempts. U of H ended up with 10.
Yep.
But you're going to see that all year. That's just a product of the way you play.
Well, and the the great thing about JoJo, he had 9 boards, 8 of them offensive.
Yep.
He just keeps the ball alive. He had that one rebound over Wade Taylor. Wade was trying to goatsy him, I guess, but he just reached over the top of him, just standing there flat-footed, pulled the ball back. Let me get that ball from you, little fella.
Here's the thing about JoJo. How about I give you a stat by Starnes?
He's also working on some badass mutton
or not
too.
Okay, we'll talk about that. We'll get to that. We still have things to talk about. We're not to the we're drunk talk. JoJo had 8 offensive rebounds. A&M had 10. I feel like Mercy played 35 minutes. It felt like he was on the floor the entire time. He played 14 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I felt he was always out there. And I guess that's a good thing. Joe is an unsolvable problem. I like the way that sounds. I think that's putting it. It's a Rubik's Cube, but for me, which means it's an unsolvable problem. Just never going to happen. Update on Kingston and CNEC. I am told CNEC was here. I did not see him or anything like that. I saw Kingston, Isaiah Harwell, and then Junior County. Yeah, Junior County. But I didn't see CNET. Now, there was a really, really tall guy that came up the stairs in front of me. But I don't know if that was him. In terms of returners, I thought Jawan had the exact game that he had 14 times in the Big 12 last year. Did the exact same thing, and I still found it impressive.
Mm-hmm.
He just virtually did not miss. I think he was 5 of 7, had 8 boards. I mean, just the most dependable guy you can have.
Yep.
And, you missed Javier Francis today. He had a groin injury. He was on the bench. But, man, you feel good about where you're at with JoJo, with Juan, obviously. I thought McFarland showed some things. I've got Kelvin is right over my shoulder, and I can hear him more than I can hear you. So,
well, I wouldn't say anything.
I know. Well, that's what. How about Jamie? Late to the party. Felt good to be back. Well, I didn't have post-game Frenchies. Not yet. It might happen. But
That sounds good.
Frenchies?
Yeah. I don't know why I was thinking of Gus's earlier.
Yeah, that's fine too.
I probably should have ate lunch.
Star Pizza? Maybe have you some Star tonight, Brad.
I might.
Treat yourself. Treat yourself. Okay, so let's go into newcomers. Most interesting to you from what you saw in 40 minutes of exhibition, doesn't matter, no overreaction, basketball.
Well, I mean, the obvious is Mercy.
Yeah, but let's get away from the obvious.
I've been looking forward to him for a while, and he delivered. He gave me exactly what I expected, or what I'd hoped to see. I mean, it's hard to expect anything because this is a different world. But offensively, He fit. I mean, I don't know. He looked like you could have told me that was Marcus Sasser, and I'd believe it.
On one end of the floor.
Right.
Yeah.
Got a ways to go on defense. I think
Right.
it's going to be there. I think he wants to be good. It's not from a lack of wanting. I think he wants to be good. Just going to take some time to understand his responsibilities and how to handle those responsibilities on the defensive end. And you hear it from the veterans all the time, especially from Galen. You think you're working hard until you get here, and you learn that you're about maybe 50% of what hard means.
And Galen and other guys have said they were here for a while and still thought they were working hard.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until they break you, and that's when the staff feels that they can really get your attention. Kelvin is talking about JoJo should not be a scorer, and he wasn't a scorer when he was recruited, and he's still very consistent in that area.
He's consistently not scoring.
Yeah, so he's laughing about it, but that's kind of funny.
It'll come.
I thought he was a freshman in his first action that we get to see, and I think it'll be better the next time we see him, which will be in the second half, probably, of that Jackson State game. Maybe in the first half, who knows? But I thought, that's about what I would have expected. I've seen him in some scrimmages. I think he's a better player than the fans have expected him to be, and he still has a lot of growing, just like every freshman that's ever gone to college does. I'm not going to Dallas anytime soon, Jamie. So I don't know when that's going to happen. Fort Worth. It was in Arlington, I think, is the place we went to. I went the day U of H beat TCU.
Oh yeah, it's right downtown Arlington.
Yeah.
But as far as now, you want to know somebody besides Mercy that knew? Yeah.
Okay.
Milos.
One word. We have to
We
talk about this name.
I'm calling him Milos. I don't care what anybody says.
Okay.
Hey,
I don't know what you said to it.
He gets the sign. He gets the Seinfeld.
So
we can call him Los.
Yeah, that's what the players call.
That's my college roommate's name.
They
Carlos
call him
Perez.
It rhymes with dose. I think Kelvin is getting louder over my shoulder. I don't know can you hear that?
A little bit.
Okay, good. Because
I
it's
guess
really loud.
At this point, we're probably pretty lucky that your microphone's not really working great.
The internet has been spotty in here today.
I believe it.
Well, I was told it was Milos, and then in the game notes it's Milos. I maybe sort of introduced myself and said, "Hi, Milos," and that was not right. And so Milos, probably correct. Milos, maybe correct. How you say it, not correct.
Well, it's correct for me.
It's correct for you.
That's how it was
your
on Seinfeld.
truth. It's your truth. So
exactly.
Yeah. We are so back. This is accurate. There were 5 or 6 balls that Emmanuel had a 3 in the second half that was in and popped out somehow.
Yeah.
But they'll figure that out, or they won't.
But yeah, one word. If I was going to describe Los, liquid. He's just smooth. He moves quick, but he doesn't. He moves very effortlessly. Yeah. He just floats. He floats, and he just looks. He looks really good. I was surprised he looked so good this early, just because it's a lot to ask of a guy to come in.
For sure.
He doesn't, and he doesn't have the hey, you're a freshman and you've got 3 years of being yelled at and corrected.
I'm looking at his numbers from the OU game last year. Pretty unremarkable. Played 35 minutes, had 4 assists, a steal, made a couple shots. Jawan's talking over my shoulder right now, and asked him this week, what did you think of his game before he came here? And he's like, I don't remember playing him. Like, I don't remember him in the game. But he said that he knows him now. So it looked like JoJo did early last season. JoJo was more of a physical freak, I think, early in the year, more than what Jacob showed today.
Well, I mean, think of how long we've been watching Javier Francis develop.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it takes time. You got to get these bodies. You get the coordination together, and their skill eventually starts to show. And I think he might be a little bit quicker just because he's got more experience. Speaking of guys that need to develop like that, Sedlot's going to break a backboard this year.
You don't see that too often anymore.
I know. I miss those days.
Yeah. Growing up watching Shaq at LSU, saw it a lot. Haven't seen it really.
Yeah.
The guy I want to talk about is Ramon Walker.
Yeah.
I love that kid. I think he is like the best dude. And he made, I think it were back-to-back 3-pointers.
Mm-hmm.
And the crowd really got into it. That was cool to see. Because it was late, but he ended up with 7 points. He made 2 free throws, which was 2 of the 3. So good for him.
Yeah,
and
he was a standout.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody played poorly.
No. I think they all look good.
I mean, that 0 for 5 Tugler just sticks out on the stat sheet, and then you go over 2 columns and there's that 8 offensive rebounds. It's like, oh,
well, I didn't even notice he. I mean, I remember him taking 3 shots.
Okay.
I mean, but it might have been a couple of tap ins or whatever.
Yeah.
But I remember 2 spinning drives to the rack and then the missed dunk. I'm happy to see Ramon play well. He looks like he's got his head in the game. I mean, that's what I think that stood out most about the entire game is everybody seems to be mentally there and more sure of themselves this year than at the start of last year.
Okay.
There were still a lot of guys trying to feel things out and trying to figure out where they fit in. It seems like we've got enough guys that know exactly where they fit that the other guys can kind of fall in behind them and play. They can pick out a role. Like a couple of things that stood out on Cordell and McCarty is that they were really getting after it on defense.
Yeah, I think that's true.
And I think Reed talked about it tonight. We know Galen's talked about it in the past, and I think Kellen's even touched on it. You've got to figure out at least one thing to be really, really good at early on so you can get on the floor and get time on the floor.
Okay.
It's nice to see that those guys are embracing that. I like to see them diving, but I'd like for them. I mean, you wish you could turn it off, but that's just the way it is.
You don't see the floor if you turn it off.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one way
So
to play in this organization.
I think tonight, or today, is going to be the first time I ever go and watch film on an exhibition. But there's so many guys I want to go see again that I think I'm gonna spend some time tomorrow looking at film of an exhibition.
It's worth it. It's worth it. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
And you got so many different guys that got a lot of minutes.
Yes. Let's see, minutes 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 guys over 20. Another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more guys over 13. A lot. I mean, McCarty and Sedlot and Cordell are the only 3 that played less than 10. That's different. Here we go. Don't want to nitpick, but free throws. I was not in the press conference. I didn't get to ask Kelvin if they practice free throws, but maybe
Coach,
I'll
have
get
you ever
to it.
thought about practicing free throws?
Yeah, he is very excited by that question every year. Ramon Walker is the next Galen Robinson. Will be a GoCoogs contributor in the future.
Okay. I can agree with that.
Tickle me. It needed the second half to make sense.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Galen's one of a kind. There's not going to be another one of him, at least as it relates to us.
Hey,
but if Ramon wants to try, let's go.
If Ramon wants to come in, we would have him in a heartbeat. I'd love to have him.
Yeah. So it was an exhibition game. You won. I have to remind myself that A&M was ranked 13th in the country. It's not like you just went and found some scabs and brought them in and beat the hell out of them.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like Arkansas ass blasted Kansas.
I have to say something to you that 3 people have said to me in the last 2 days, before yesterday's game and then during today's game, is that I am too mean to you.
Oh, no. Is there such thing?
Yeah. This is like how you always get upset with how mean Kelvin was to Galen.
Leave Brittany alone. Leave Townsy alone.
Poor Towns. One person says, "You're really mean to your obese friend." It's like,
quit picking on the fat kid.
Oh, that poor fat boy. Yeah. So I'm going to be nicer to you this basketball season. But if there's another game where U of H shoots under 50% free throws, we might have to throw that out.
Well, I mean, don't you think that'll happen next week?
Might. U of H choked the life out of A&M in that first 4 minutes of the second half.
Yeah.
Like U of H was pretty cold late in the first half until LJ hits the 3 at the buzzer.
How many shots did they had? Didn't we go like 6 minutes without scoring?
Well, you scored 1 bucket in 7 minutes and 12 seconds.
Right.
And it was the mercy when he drove to the hole was the only bucket you scored in that stretch.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just choked them out to start the second half.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you that Ann is walking up with 3 boxes of Frenchies.
Oh, nice.
You're not large enough to have 3 boxes of Frenchies. You didn't want to be greedy and get 4. Got it. That's smart.
Look at that. That's pretty good.
Well, you're looking at me now, fat boy.
Well, I just had it seared in my mind.
No, okay. Yeah. She's got 3 boxes of Frenchies.
Yeah, I'm going to have to order. I might have to pull up Star
You're going to
Pizza.
have to get some food.
I'm going to have to pull up Star Pizza right now to order online.
All right. So I guess that's it. There's just only so much you can talk about in a practice.
Especially when you get no-showed by our partner.
That's that guy.
Him doing team meetings and crap and his real job. What the hell?
He's showing us up as soon as we let him, get a piece, he's like, I'll show you. Ann says hi, fat boy.
Hello,
So
Ann.
she's being nice to you. I think this is a pretty good comment to end on.
It's going to be a fun season.
It's going to be the most fascinating year that I've ever been a part of. Will U of H lose a football or basketball game ever again? I don't think so. I mean,
depends on what you call losing. I can make it to where we never lose again if I can just redefine what winning is.
Well, that's true. But I mean, pretty good track record there. Pretty good.
Oh, and everybody here, check your Twitter and go check out the little last play montage that dropped from UH football right in the middle of a basketball game.
Yeah, not the best timing, but it was pretty cool. They took a 4-second piece of life and made it a minute 38.
Mm-hmm.
And Jack Martin staring. It's pretty good. It was well done. Very well done.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
But they did milk it for sure. So
I didn't realize that was the first walk-off since Hogan.
Okay, so this is maybe I'm the only one that finds this interesting, right? So Matt Hogan walks off Tulsa, that crazy 12 points in 23 seconds or whatever it was at Tulsa. That game ended 46-45. U of H's last walk-off. Yesterday, U of H gets another walk-off, and Tulsa wins a game 46-45. In a game where UTSA was up 28 points or something? Wild.
Yeah, I think they were up 35-7.
Yeah, that's what I think it was. But I don't know. I'm not a numerology person, but it struck me that happened the same day that they had a 46-45 game. Because how often does that happen? I mean, you don't score 46.
Oh, we used to score that a lot.
Not that exact number. No, you've got to play 4 weeks now to get to that tier. Well, not. Yeah, well, the last 4 weeks you've scored it. So 0, 30, 14, 17. So
yeah, he looked deflated, probably because he can't believe that he didn't take a job. He might have missed his window. See, that's why coaches leave while they're riding a top tier quarterback, because they have to. I mean, you think of. I can only think of maybe Norvell at Memphis. He had two quarterbacks. I think, what was it? The big tall guy and
the cracker and the other cracker.
Riley Ferguson.
Yeah,
is that right?
Well, the other one might have been named Riley too. But yeah, he had those two guys that were there for 9 years.
Yeah,
but
that's why coaches.
But
he
was able to be picky. I don't know if he chose the right place, but not having his best year. So, anyways, last thoughts, Brad.
Exhibition games are basically just glorified practice, but it was to keep a score, you got to go out and whoop somebody's ass, and that's exactly what they did. It's just business as usual with these guys. It's just really, really fun to see the young guys come in and I love exhibitions because we get to see young guys play. And this one's even better because you get to see them play against real players.
Right.
No offense, lower cannon fodder that we played. But yeah, to see them play against guys that are more like them and come out and show out and it's just really, really fun to see. There we go.
Riley and Brady. See, I told you.
Yeah, country club kids.
Yeah. I think if you add exhibition games to regular season games, U of H has now won. It's either 99 or 100 games in this building. They've lost 6. People say, "Oh, it's too small. We need it bigger. We need to." No, you don't. No, you don't. This place, You're winning 95% of your games here. Maybe you've got the exact right thing. This place is amazing, and U of H plays great here. Teams do not come in. The last team I remember, I think it was Temple, when you missed that shot, the 56-55 game. And then before that, a few weeks
Damian Dunn
before
beat
that
us.
was, that's right. And then before that was Alabama.
Yeah.
But I think those are the only 2 losses in 3 years. Pretty good place to play.
Well, I mean, Fran Fraschilla treats us very well, but he's not blowing smoke up our ass when he talks about how great of a home court advantage we have. Every broadcast team that comes in here raves about how great this is. And now that we're in the Big 12 and guys are doing big time games, they kind of know what they're talking about.
Thank you, Mother. It was Temple. It was Damian Dunn. That was my mother's first game at Fertitta, I believe.
How's the
I nearly
shoulder
banned
doing?
her.
Did you push her down any stairs again?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
We're working on some medical stuff for her. The home that we want to put her in, not quite ready. So we're going to do some medical stuff and then see what happens.
Did she get a rascal?
No, that would be fun. I would like
see
that.
If you can get it. See if you can get a 2-for-1 deal.
For you?
Yeah, we could roll me into Star Pizza.
All right. That's the show for tonight. We appreciate y'all coming with us. I get to leave U of H at 7:00. It feels like I don't do that too often, but it'll be great to go home for 12 hours before I'm back.
Sure.
For practice and then media. Ann says goodbye. So
goodbye, Ann.
Have a great time.
Enjoy Frenchies.
3 buckets of Frenchies. So, and she's going to get another, she says.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thank you so much. GoCoogs.com, CougFans.com. It's getting weird to say that, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. So, all right. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care.